me go now, or you can let me go later. Either way, it ends the same for you.
Who the fuck are you?
And a chair. You told me to stay put and reminded me why I was there.
As a band, only having 2 songs out and headlining a tour is definitely interesting. I'd say it's a little bit weird because, you know, obviously as a headlining band, you've been out for a while and people know your stuff, and you know, you've grown a fan base, and it's kind of like we've come into this thing automatically with a fan base to start out, and so coming out and playing these shows, we really feel like we have to bring it, and like, you know, the songs that people haven't heard, we need to prove ourselves and we need to show them that, you know, we're for real. These songs are like the shit. It's what we love and we're passionate about it, and that's what we're bringing to the stage regardless of whether people know them or not. You know, first time around playing shows and to have sold out shows and to have kids coming out and singing our songs, even ones that aren't released yet, you know, just knowing bits and pieces from, you know, having heard them online and on our videos and stuff. It's really cool, really impressive.
Yeah, our expectations were like definitely high, but I think the tour has definitely like exceeded all of that. Like, it's blowing everybody away, you know. The whole entire band or team, everybody's just like beyond excited for what's been going on. So it's a good tour. It's awesome. There's a different like camaraderie that's going along with being in this band. You know, it was a fear going into it too of like making sure that you clicked with everybody. And I think first and foremost, like, we knew we were all, you know, we were all gonna write great music. We've all been doing this for so long. Like, we weren't worried on that front. It was more the behind the scenes of it, of like, are we able to get along, are we able to do all that? And I think that differs from our previous bands. So I think, you know, not saying that we all have problems in our previous bands with members and stuff like that, but coming into this, like, it was a big fear doing this for so long, that making sure that everyone clicked and was on the right page. And that has been the easiest thing about being in this band, is getting along with everybody, because everyone is pretty much brothers in this band already. You know, I love all the dudes so much. So I think that's probably been the biggest like difference coming into this from my previous bands. You know, like, this definitely feels like more of a family oriented like vibe. You know, it's not like a business or I don't know, you know, it's just a fun way to actually play music, is like loving all the dudes that are in the band, you know?
Yeah, and actually it's to our advantage that we've all had these experiences before in different bands, because coming into this, you know, we are all seasoned enough to know what to do and what not to do, and basically what roles to take and what not to take, you know. And it's been cool kind of seeing how the chemistry works for all of us, because all of us in our previous bands really took a lot of the responsibility on ourselves, a lot of the load on personally. So now it's like you have all these guys who have all been extremely responsible and have taken on a ton, all ready to like do this right. So it's almost like there's a certain amount that you have to pull back even a little bit, you know, in order to make room for everyone, because it's a band full of such talent, and you know, like Nick said, there's been a lot of camaraderie that comes along with, you know, finding that chemistry, and it's definitely been awesome. What we got is our debut LP coming out in February. I can't divulge any album names, dates, this and that, other than it's coming out in February. It was produced by John Feldman, who's, I think, a hero of all of ours growing up. I think we were all big fans of his, and him playing in Goldfinger and also the records he's produced. And I think by far, for each of us individually as a group too, this is by far the peak of any of our individual creations. Like, this is like the best thing we've all done so far. And we are so proud to get it out to all of our old fans and to the rest of the world this time around. And we're fortunate enough to have the support of, you know, a label like Warner Brothers and the Cadence to be able to get it out to every person, you know, that we possibly can, because this is, again, something that we're so passionate about.
A lot of it's really from Craig's like experiences over the past year, but I think a lot of it, like, for him, is like his whole life. And he's kind of stated before that, you know, in the previous projects that he's written in, it's always been very metaphorical, and you could read it as this or that, and, you know, it's very like poetic and kind of like romantic and stuff like that, you know. Whereas on this record, like, all of his lyrics were so stripped down in an awesome way where you could totally identify and know like what he's talking about. You know, like he's very, there's no metaphors. I mean, he literally just says shit like how it's supposed to be. You know what I mean? I think like that honesty like cuts through the record so well. Like every single song, you're just like, wow, like it. I think like a lot of his lyrics that he wrote for this are just like courageous, like on so many levels, because there's things that he talks about in these songs that I like. My previous band, Undermined, like I wrote ballsy lyrics, but the way that he words it and presents it, it's so like honest and so like intense, but in the most awesome way. So I think that's kind of a, you know, each song kind of has its own personality, its own meaning, but they're all very apparent.
This is a emo supergroup. Call it what you want, but you know, regardless, it's 5 individuals who are extremely passionate about what they do, and we obviously, you know, music is an addiction for every single one of us. Otherwise, we wouldn't be in this. Again, you know, throwing ourselves to the wolves and going for it, because we're passionate about playing, writing, every bit of it. And yeah, I guess it helps too that we've all played in, you know, bands from the same sort of scene and kind of came up together. And like, it's cool because we look back at like 2004, and if I could go back to 2004 Warped Tour, I'd find Nick, I'd find Adam, and I'd find Matt. I think Craig was even on it too. Yeah, we're all individually out there doing different things. If we can go back and say, hey, you know, 5 years from now you're going to be, 6 years from now you're going to be in a band together, making a record with John Feldman. It's going to be the culmination of all your careers. I'd say, really? You know?
I think ultimately people can call it what they want. They want to call it supergroup, an emo supergroup, or whatever it is. It's like, at the end of the day, it's just a bunch of dudes that just want to write music. It's not, we didn't intend to, you know, try to build this supergroup mentality behind it. It was like, let's just find the dudes that we love their music, we love how they play, we love their attitude, and that's how it went down. It wasn't like we need to get the biggest faces in this. It was just like, let's just see who clicks and let's just do it, you know. It was that simple. My focus of all things, and I have to keep on reverting to this, and I've heard this in interviews with previous like musicians I admire, is that first and foremost is you have to have fun. Like if you're not having fun, then you're in the wrong business, you're doing the wrong thing. So I think like for me personally, the next year when this record comes out, my main goal is just have fun. You know, it's not about money or how many records we can sell. It's just about having fun. Like especially when, I mean, for me, I'm in my late 20s now. It's like there has to be a gratification behind it that serves like a fun purpose for me. You know, I don't want to view it as a job or something that I dread doing every day. Like I just want to make sure I'm having fun. So that's like, for me, that's my goal. It's just to have fun in every way possible with this band, for sure.
Yeah, I think that's the perfect answer. I think each of us individually has experienced these moments where in our previous bands it became not fun anymore and kind of got a bit jaded to it. And we're all so extremely fortunate to have the opportunity to do this again, that we're not going to take it for granted. We're not going to take it for granted that we're getting to do all the things that we get to do and get to play rock and roll, you know, for a living, hopefully, you know. Regardless, we're going to have fun for the next year, play our asses off, tour our asses off, and have fun. That's it, man. Nail on the head right there. I want to thank all the fans who came out to all the shows in this tour. You've made this our first headlining tour, by far one of the most amazing experiences of each of our lives.
By far.
And we cannot wait to put out this record next year, for everyone to have it in their hands and hopefully loving it as much as we love it, and joining us out at the shows, rocking out, and wherever the future may take us.